Polly. Vogel.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Welcome to the June 10th, 2024 City Council meeting. We've got a few agenda items under public hearings to start with tonight.
Mr. Mayor, I move to open a public hearing for the 6-year street plan.
Support. Motion support, any discussion? All right, all those in favor of opening up the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Brian, can you give us a...
Sure. All cities are required to adopt a 6-year street plan every year to be eligible for federal highway funding, the type of funding that we have for the Broadway Road project. So we have put together before you our 6-year street plan. Tracy and I did add a few projects this year that we thought were good additions. One of the things that I've seen happen in the last couple of years, some agencies have received funding to just grind and repave a street as opposed to like a full renovation. So you'll see in here that we added a project like on Cherry Street to grind and repave, Adams, Grand, Beacon Hill, maybe like another, but we added basically any street that was a federally classified roadway that we potentially would just want to grind and repave, we added those into the plan, just to be eligible.
Brian, when you say Cherry Street, is it Cherry Street or is it 28th Street going towards the stadium? I know that street is probably the worst.
28th Street is federally classified, but not the block from Cherry to Queens. No. Yeah, I think we have that in the plan, but it's not federally classified and eligible for funding.
Yeah. And a lot of that has to do with like going through and stuff like that, like the differences, you know, if you get into that classification between a street and a road, and you know, you have all these different classifications, and that's where it goes like block by block, but you know, whatever, it's not like, oh, this is a street, so therefore the whole thing is a street, like it is where it is. Like when you get into that last block, almost like that last block dead end almost never is, right? So,
It doesn't mean we couldn't, you know, fix it with our own money, it's just
Right.
not eligible for a federal grant.
Yeah, it needs some more, as you're.
Oh, yeah.
It is. And as much traffic, you know, especially this time of year with baseball and everything, you see cars going down that road, just like four-wheeling.
Would it help to put in the alley that never went in, that's on all like old, really old maps?
Alleys aren't eligible, I think.
Oh.
But we do have a citywide alley paving project in the plan, it's just not eligible for federal funding.
is there anyone with public comment on the street plan?
I do have one more question. Will any of the levy projects affect any of the transportation plan in any way? And will we have to redo this?
Nope,
Okay,
no impacts.
okay.
Good question.
I move to close the public hearing.
Support.
All those in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Are any opposed? All right, the hearing will be closed.
Mr. Mayor, I move to open a public hearing regarding a street vacation for hometown sanitation.
Support.
Motion support. All those in favor of opening the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed.
Yeah,
Public
Brian,
hearing will be open.
can you give us some more information on this?
Sure, I did bring my council packet from about a month ago, but the council did receive a copy of the street vacation request by Hometown Sanitation. There is an unapproved roadway that runs through their property. This would be out there off of Bayview. It's the gravel road that takes you from Adams Street to the dead end where we have a stormwater pump station. They would like to vacate that roadway that runs through their property. We do not currently have any utilities in that area.
Public comment?
Question.
And Hometown Sanitation may be here potentially, I'm not sure.
Is there any public comment on this public hearing?
Does this property, Hometown currently owns on both sides of it?
I'm sorry, you have to stand up, give your name and address, and then, it's not a question, it's just a public comment.
Yeah, but.
My question is this does this alley middle of hometown sanitation.
And can we get your name and address, please, for the public record?
Tim Sprout. 177 US Highway 101.
Thank you very much.
A petition has to be signed by property owners who own at least 50% of the value, and this is a valid application. Either they own on both sides, or the owner on the other side is also signed, one or the other.
Any other public comment?
Mr. Mayor, I move to close the public hearing.
Support.
All those in favor of closing the hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Are any opposed? None are opposed, the motion carries. All right, the next thing on the agenda is a proclamation. I saw Jane here, and she's brought some coaches and family members. Jane, if you could come up to the podium, I would appreciate that. One of the problems with having a lawyer who is also the mayor is when they write proclamations, they're really wordy. So you have to stand there for a long time while I read through this thing. It'll be nothing near as long as some of your runs, I'm sure, but there are some words here. So I wanted to read this proclamation. Whereas it is with great pleasure and pride that I, Ben Winkleman, Mayor of the City of Hoquiam, hereby issue this proclamation to recognize the outstanding athletic achievement of Jane Roloff. Whereas Jane Roloff, a student at Hoquiam High School, has recently competed in the WIAA 1A track and field state competition. And whereas Jane Roloff again demonstrated exceptional dedication, skill, and perseverance throughout her athletic career, embodying the true spirit of sportsmanship and inspiring other young athletes. And whereas her unwavering commitment to her sport and her rigorous training regimen have culminated in a rare and remarkable victory in multiple events at the state track and field meet, where she emerged as the distance Triple Crown champion, securing championship titles in the 3,200
Recording
meter,
in progress.
the 1,600 meter, and the 800 meter events. This Triple Crown is a mark of success for distance runners all over the world. Whereas Jane Roloff continued success and improvements also bring immense pride to the community, where it had been nearly 30 years since we last held an individual cross-country state championship title. She's now added to that the distance Triple Crown in track and field to her championship recognition. And whereas Jane Roloff's achievement serves as a testament to her spirit, discipline, and self-belief, which have propelled her to this level of success in her senior year as an athlete, and has opened doors for her to continue to pursue her athletic and academic pursuits at the collegiate level. And whereas Jane Roloff's athletic performance has brought honor and distinction to the city, and will work to elevate our reputation as a breeding ground for exceptional athletes willing to pursue excellence in their personal lives and in collegiate sports. Whereas it is fitting and proper for our community to recognize and acknowledge the remarkable accomplishments of Jane Roloff, not only as an athlete, but also as an exemplary role model for other young aspiring athletes. Now therefore, I, Ben Winkleman, Mayor of Hoquiam, do hereby proclaim that Jane Roloff be officially recognized and commended for her outstanding performance in the state track and field meet, and for being crowned the WIAA 1A Triple Crown Distance State Champion, that her dedication, hard work, and athletic prowess continue to be celebrated as an inspiration to all members of the community, but especially the young athletes, and that this proclamation be spread throughout the city, that every resident be encouraged to celebrate and honor Jane Roloff's extraordinary achievements, and show our support to her and other Hoquiam student athletes in high school and beyond. That a copy of this proclamation be presented to you, which I did bring with me tonight. Jane Roloff, symbolizing our gratitude, admiration, and appreciation for exceptional talent and a remarkable victory. So I hereby sign the proclamation, and I would ask that if you have any words to share, you could do that. But also would like to invite any of the other members that you've brought or people from the community that might have words to share with us today as well. So thank you very much, and I'd like to present you with the signed proclamation.
Sure.
That's
So,
an extra copy.
thank you. So in school history, we've never had anybody win those 3 races. And in addition, if you remember, she also was the cross-country state champion. So 4 state championships in 1 school year. Amazing. And this is her coach, Dave Beeler. He was her head coach in cross country, and then coached her also as an assistant coach in track.
So I've been here 4 years at Hoquiam, 28 years at Elma. I've enjoyed my time at Hoquiam way more. The kids are awesome here. A little bit on Jane. She's probably one of the hardest working athletes I've ever coached in my life. She does a lot of stuff off the track that I did not tell her to do. And so, just a couple things. This year alone, she broke 8 school records. So she kept breaking her own school record. School record has been here since 2002. She shattered the 3200 by almost 40 seconds. The 1600 by 20 seconds. And the 800 meters by 4 seconds. So she broke, including cross country, she broke 9 school records this year. She also broke 8 meet records this year. And we only have 11 meets, so she broke 8 meet records. At the league meet, at the league championship, she broke all 3, the 800, 16, and 3200 meet records. And you don't go there to, it shows how good a condition and work she did, because you don't go there to break records, you go there to qualify for the next round. She won 9 races, the 800, 16, 3200, in 13 days. She won 9 races. She's won 4 league championships going back to cross country. And she's also won 3 district championships this year. And she's won 4 state championships. And she's also got the 1500 meter record. She'll be competing at University of Portland next year on a athletic scholarship and academic scholarship. And the work she put in, she deserves this recognition. She's also the only non-private athlete, so not from a private school, to ever win the 800, 16, and the 32 at the state meet.
Wow.
And she's the only 3rd person to ever do it. So, you're going back a long ways. Not had a lot of good athletes at Elma, and they could not do that. But to qualify, we weren't gonna triple this year, because I don't like the triple athletes, especially girls. I do not like the triple. But when she ran 2:14 at Shelton Invite and won the big Shelton Invite, I came back to practice on Monday and said, "We got the lemon," and she just smelled it. "Yeah, we do." I said, "What do you want to do?" And I always do what the athletes want to do. She goes, "I want to triple," and she goes, "I think if I didn't triple, I'd be disappointed myself." And it worked out. 4-time state champion this year. Daniel.
I just want to thank you all for taking the time, and I don't think I would have been able to thrive like this in a community other than Hoquiam. I just think like all the coaches and the community itself is just so supportive, so thank you.
watching you develop. I know a lot of the mental strength, at least, is what it took to finally push you across the finish line. So great development, and I'm sure your parents and coaches and everyone that more often have an opportunity to share their pride will continue to do that. So we'll all be rooting for you when you're out there running for the pilots. So
Thank you, guys.
congratulations again.
She's gotta head to her track banquet that starts in
3
10
minutes
minutes.
ago.
Where she's gonna get other awards, so.
Yeah, well, if she's got her running shoes on, she'll make it.
Thank you.
Good night. The next agenda item that we have is communications from Blue Zones. We've got Chris Fry here.
Good evening, and thanks for having me. My name's Chris Fry. I'm the Executive Director of Blue Zones Activate Grace Harbor County. I live here in Oak Ridge, and I think this is the second time I've presented here. I think I gave you the introduction of what Blue Zones was, or is. We were about 14, 15 months in to our 3-year project. And what I wanted to do tonight was just sort of two things, basically. Give you an update of what Blue Zones is up to, at least as it pertains to built environment or bike trails, walking paths, etc. As well as talk about Pedestrian Safety Week that we created this week. Actually, as a result of the Oakland Police Department having, and I can say this, a great event every year. I think it was so good, unfortunately for them. All the schools want it now, and so they're doing multiple. But my wife's a school teacher at Central, so I know how much those kids appreciate it, having the bike rodeo. But this week with pedestrian safety, we started today at 2 o'clock, right here in this building. We had a urban planner, a subject matter expert on our staff come in from Portland and talk and do a walking audit. And we did two things primarily, three things really. One, educated everyone. Brian, Mr. Shea was here with some of the staff, and we had other walking and biking enthusiasts in our community show up for this. And it was basically walkability, bike safety, road safety 101, as well as we actually went out and learned how to do a walking audit. And then piggybacking off of an event that we had earlier about a month ago, we did a walking audit right there on Emerson as it pertains to crosswalks and kind of speed control, narrowing, safety techniques. And the method to the madness was to see what's already planned, and a lot of great things already planned with that Emerson project, and then think, okay, if our community, if Mr. Shea in the future secures additional grants and his staff for multi-purpose trails, how would we do them in the future? So it was a pretty good educational event. Wednesday, the Oakland Police Department's gonna have their bike rodeo. I'm gonna do nothing but take notes and watch it and enjoy it. And then on Thursday, we're having a combo event. We're starting off right here at Swanson's, and the students of Central Elementary are going to do a walk, bike, and roll the school day. And also it's a little bit like a walking school bus, if you're familiar with that. So their parents drop them off at Swanson's. Members from the Hopeland Police Department, Target Zero, Laveau Bike, Central Elementary School, Blue Zones. We're gonna escort them either on bike or by foot. If you have a bike, let's ride a bike, and if you're on foot, we're all gonna walk. The method to the madness in this event is basically have fun. Two is quiz them about the bike rodeo. What did they learn Wednesday for bike safety? And then lastly, and this is probably the most important part, is just start talking about the value of trails, whether it's for walking, jogging, or cycling, and or rolling, and how we don't have an abundance of those in our county, and how Blue Zones and the city of Hoquiam have focused on creating that opportunity for us. And I think it's interesting, Jane just here, hopefully there's two things that happen. One, I have a daughter who's a seventh grader who is athletic, and she suddenly thinks running might be pretty cool. Before it was a punishment. Now it's like, hey, Jane's done some amazing things, maybe I could be like Jane. And the second thing is, I don't know, Brian I think is this way, but I always get excited when I see people working out and jogging over the bridge and whatnot. And so I think there's a positive momentum. We have trails, more people moving, that gets more people excited about moving, and we have the snowball effect, and it's good for our community, it's good for our kids. And I get sidetracked now, and I apologize. So that's Thursday with Central, and on Friday we duplicate it, except rather than meeting at Swanson's, we're meeting at Emmanuel Baptist with the Lincoln kids. And same groups gonna be involved, the police department, Blue Zones, LaVogue, Cyclery, etc., Target Zero, and we're gonna walk from, Emmanuel Baptist to Lincoln Elementary. What we have before us is a little bit of, it's not exactly the equipment that we're gonna have, and if you look over my left shoulder, you'll see a wayfinding sign. Now what's Blue Zone's up to, we promised, hey, the action plan for Hope Wind is to come here to design trails and then to place a bike maintenance station at an existing location so that moving forward, we have everything already planned out so that if we wanted to apply for future grants, we could with very little work, relatively speaking. And the other thing is that we would have a service or a maintenance station and eventually have 3 or 4 or 5 across the city, one at Gable, one at our Pocklington, one towards the Y or Olympic Stadium, have them spread out throughout the community. And what we have here right in front of me is a bike rack, a bike pump, these all stay, they're bolted into the ground. We have a bike maintenance tower, which is actually, is a big deal if you're a cyclist. And then we'd also have a bench and possibly a covered area. And then throughout our town, on our bike trail, we have these wayfinding signs. And I find that I give this presentation quite a bit, and I talk about wayfinding signs, and people nod their head, but until you actually see, there'd be one to every park, the Y, downtown core, throughout our community on our multi-purpose trail system. And then lastly, so we haven't decided, this will be up to, I don't know the protocol, if it's city council or whatnot, but we have this equipment that we would like to install permanently, or at least for short term within our community wherever it makes sense. And then lastly, next steps, I kind of covered it already. After this week is over, we're gonna move forward and start designing this course. And this course is gonna start at Gable, and it's gonna end at Grace Harbor College and Walmart and everything in between. It's called a linear park. And what you do is you basically tie existing trails into existing parks, into other existing trails, and you fill in the gaps. And so that you make it so one day you can hop on your bike right here and get to Grace Harbor College safely. Or you can start at Walmart and ride your bike all the way here to Gable, etc. So that's the Mental Tour Madness, and I just wanted to share that information with you. That's what we're up to now, and get excited. And my guy, Clayton, who wrote for the Daily World, he usually covers all of this, but I think we're all saddened to learn that he moved on to Bend, Oregon. So if I don't walk around and talk about it, we may not see it in the paper. Any questions?
Yeah, I do, yes. So with these bike paths and stuff, is there gonna be a way to access that, like Google Maps type thing?
Yes.
And then with this stuff, would it be identified like as a?
Yes.
Kid's?
Yeah, so you would have a QR code or an app, and you'd be able to pull it up, and there'd be a map, and it would show all the parks, it would show probably LaVogue, Cyclery, it would have probably coffee shops, maintenance towers, everything.
Cool.
Yeah. So it would be great for our community, but also if you're on your way to Seabrook or Ocean Shores, you can stop and enjoy our community.
So Chris, is this all stuff would be maintained by Blue Zone or the city? How to maintain
Currently, right now, it's maintained by us, and then when we get to that point, we'll figure that out. I don't know that definitively, but right now, yeah, I'm on the watch. Actually, it's kind of fun because at this point, I give lots of presentations, and typically have brochures and whatnot, and that actually kind of bores people to tears. And the last month, I've been walking in with all this equipment and setting it down, and everybody wants to talk to me now, so it's kind of interactive and interesting, and until you have a bike that's broken down, and what's funny is we have one of these in all of the county, and everybody seems to know where it's at, because it's pretty valuable. It's in, I roll my eyes, Monsanto, of course, but, we have ours now too, so.
And you can not go to the gym as often when you're hauling these around.
Right, yeah.
Up and down the stairs, yeah.
The steps are steeper.
Where was this wayfinding sign designed to be located? Like it's got
boat launch.
measurements on it.
So I put that there, so if you were on the jogging trail at the boat launch, you would know that you're a 7-minute bike ride from Emerson Elementary.
Okay, so the boat launch on Levy Street.
Yes. And then this is the first version, it's a little heavy, it's not sturdy enough, but this was the first version, and the other thing we would do is rather than having one location, we would actually have, it would say Emerson, and then it would say, the high school, and it would say Gable Park, and you could have it where it's red, be one location, and then you can have the distances, and then you could put 5 to 6 to 7 on one post. So an arrow going straight, an arrow going right, etc. So, and we were doing this in Ocean Shores, Elma, and Hoquiam, and we would like to also do it in Aberdeen, but we haven't confirmed that yet.
Who kind of funds this stuff?
What we do with that, and this was funded by Choice Health Network. We've been funded by Choice, so all of this is thanks to Choice. And then future would all be grants. And what we would do is with our grant writing team, we would partner with local communities. So rather than saying, hey, Brian and your team do all the work, we would give you all of the tools, or ideally do all of the work and then allow the city to present it.
And I think one time when you presented before, you mentioned something about like I don't remember what it was called, but it's like an outdoor workout center location or something like that.
One of the things we'd also like to do is probably at Art Poppington or whatnot is, it's a functional fitness. One of the things we would like to do, and I wear 2 hats, Blue Zones and then the Grace Harbor Sports Association. What we would really like to do is get a cover on that basketball court. We think that's a great asset. When it's sunny and we drive by, people are using it. When it's raining, you can't. And then next to that, have an area where it's outdoors and you can do push-ups, pull-ups, dips, box jumps, all these things. It's stationed. There's one in Yelm, so if you're ever in Yelm, drive by, and then there's another one in Port Angeles, but have that one covered as well, so that they're outdoor, but they're year-round, free of charge, basketball courts, of course, and then a functional fitness station. So, and that would all be funded through grants.
I don't think anybody would be too terribly upset if you made that court smaller.
Alright, we're getting out of shape.
Oh, God, it's so long.
Well, and I have dreams. Hoop Fest has these amazing courts. They design them, and long-term goals, if we secure the grant, I would suggest that not only do we cover it, but we put one of those Hoop Fest courts in there. And it's a conversation. It doesn't, you drive by it and you have to stop and play. It's just beautiful, and if you're a ball, you'd be out there. So.
Thank you. Any other questions?
All right, thanks very much.
Presentation. Don't forget to haul all this stuff with you.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Early, yeah, we'll bolt it down right there.
Tracy said we could just leave this here all year.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is public comment. This is time for anyone wishing to speak before the council in relation to items that are listed on the agenda to do so. Is there anybody wishing to comment on agenda items? Do we have any submitted in writing? None? All right, then we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we accept consent agenda A.
Support.
Any discussion? All those in favor of accepting the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed, motion carries. Move down the agenda to officers' report 6B.
Okay, State Route 109 bike lanes and sidewalk projects, or project bids. Staff recommends that the council authorize awarding the bid and contract to Rocklands Inc. for $1,437,660, and that staff have the authority to negotiate any change orders that arise on the project.
Mr. Mayor, I move to, accept this report and approve the bid.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion?
I did have a question. In the report, it said Washington Traffic Board. Is that Washington State Traffic Commission, or is it Traffic Safety Commission?
No, there's actually a state agency called the Transportation Improvement Board, TIB.
Transportation Improvement Board, okay,
Oh, yeah, improvements missing,
okay,
yes.
sorry.
TIB,
I was like,
yeah, TIB grant.
Tib, okay,
Yes.
yes, as opposed to CRAB, which is the county rural,
Yes.
yes, okay, got it. I know who you're talking about.
And Schedule A and B were broken up, that Schedule A is paid for, by the grant from Safe Routes to Schools, and Schedule B is being paid for primarily by the TIP grant.
Got it, thank you. And when will this, break ground?
We will be done by the end of September, so we will give a notice to the contractor tomorrow and get them going.
Excellent.
Any other discussion?
I don't think I'm familiar with the project.
Oh.
I mean, in a couple of sentences, could I have it summarized?
The biggest improvement, I would say, if you go from, the intersection of Emerson and Lincoln to Emerson School, on the north side of the sidewalk, where the sidewalk is on the north side, that will all be replaced. Right now, it's about a 5 or 6 foot sidewalk in different locations. It'll all become a 10-foot shared asphalt, sidewalk and bike lane.
It's sounding more familiar, thank you.
Yeah.
The Safe Pathways to School project.
And Emerson will only have one lane from Lincoln past my property going that direction, so there will not be the 2-block hurry up and get in front of that RV before you're stuck on the way to Ocean Shores passing lane.
There goes all your fun throwing rotten tomatoes.
Well, I just don't get that close to it, so.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed, motion carries.
Now we have dangerous building demolition bids for 509 Simpson. Staff recommends that the council authorize awarding the bid and contract to Quid Brothers Inc. for $39,371.50, which includes Washington state sales tax, and that staff have the authority to negotiate necessary change orders that arise on the project.
You want that one? Go for it.
Mr. Mayor,
You go ahead, Mr.
I move that we accept this report and also accept this bid.
Support.
Motion support, any discussion?
One question, oh,
I was just gonna ask when the demolition is gonna start.
Probably quickly. I would think they would probably start within 3 weeks. But these are a little bit tricky in the sense that this is privately owned, so, the building department will need to work with the court to get a search warrant so that we can go in and do the demolition. And then once we get this search warrant, we have to do it, like, what is it, 10 days or? Yeah, yeah, so it happens quick once you get the search warrant, so we'll get it all coordinated. I would think within 30 days it'll be gone. And if there's any, basically it has to be left as a flat lot, so if there ends up being like a hole in the ground, they have to bring in fill and make it a level site.
And for my own clarity, which one is this?
This is the green building that's right next to Buddy Moo's, that's concrete block that faces the street, and then it goes on like a wooden structure.
The one closest to Buddy.
Closest. It's been condemned and vacant for at least 3 years.
And it's the rat trap, 2-legged and 4-legged.
Yeah.
So the additional fill, is that part of this, or is that gonna be it?
Nope, that's included.
So will this price maybe change?
It shouldn't,
Okay. So it doesn't, not gonna go down.
no, and what we would do, for this is we would file a lien and try to foreclose against the property owner to recoup our costs.
Long overdue.
That one, yeah.
Any other discussion? Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
I'm all for mowing this down. I'm just wondering why you would wait until completion of demolition to file the lien.
Cause the lien sets what the costs were, so I guess theoretically, we think it's gonna be 39,000, but it could be slightly more. So once that, the project's done, we have the total cost, we'll actually add in some minor costs like, some staff time, publication costs, recording fees. Cause like, just to record the lien, it's gonna be like $400, so like all that will get added in when it's filed.
Maybe there should be a flat fee based on square footage as a punitive, addition to the lien, so that you can shorten the time between the lien winding up in court or being satisfied and, the actual demolition.
Yeah, we'll file the lien probably within a couple months, it'll be fairly soon. I will say, I happened to see the news in the last week, and City of Seattle just changed some ordinance to where they now can do this. I find it hard to believe that we've been doing this for years, and Seattle just now has the ability to do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that I'm interested in the punitive part of it. I mean, to me, it's a safety issue, cause that's, I'm sure it's been much more than 3 years on that one.
Well, my suggestion would just to shorten
Sure.
the process time.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
all.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're waiting for the demolition, then we're gonna put the lien on because we'll know the actual cost
Right.
we're gonna charge. But if we had a punitive attached to it somehow, then let's just not worry about it and do it for the bid price.
Steve, does the judgment bear interest at 12%?
Not until we go to court.
But after it's applied? That's pretty punitive.
Yeah.
Most times you go pay it.
Right. Only matters if they pay. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are any opposed? None are opposed, motion carries.
Okay, train station painting bids, staff recommends that the council authorize awarding the bid and contract to Finnery Construction, Inc. for $33,759, which includes Washington State sales tax, and that staff has the authority to negotiate any necessary change orders that arise on the project.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve this report and bid.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion?
Where's Finnery Construction from?
Around the Kelso area, and they've done a lot of painting for public agencies.
I only asked because they're quite a bit lower than everybody else.
Yeah, and I called and, well, first of all, I thought they were all higher than I was expecting, but, really didn't know what to expect, I guess. And they said there was just so much handwork with all of the trim is why the cost was as high, but they felt solid on their price. Some of the other ones were much higher, I don't know how they came to that. And they're the most local of the contractors as well.
So same, paint scheme, excuse me, are we gonna keep getting colors?
Exactly the same paint as it is today. And this was a requirement of the lease extension we signed with DOL. So we're getting $30,000 back, I guess you could say, because they're paying an extra $500 a month on the lease for us to paint it.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are any opposed? None are opposed, motion carries.
Okay, camera security system, staff recommends that the council approve the upgrade of the camera security system through ADT Commercial for $23,259.22.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we accept this report and also the bid.
Support.
Motion and support, could you give us a
Yeah.
general idea of where the expense is and why it's
So
necessary?
we've added several new cameras, and our system just can't hold them anymore. And also, since we have a jail, we have to carry a certain amount of footage, days of footage. And so in order to stay in compliance with that, we have to increase our or we have to upgrade our security system, which is very, very out of date. We've bought more storage in the past, but we haven't actually upgraded our system itself.
So I just clarified, this one wasn't a bid, it went to master contract, so these are pre-negotiated by the state with suppliers, so this is one of them on that. So the recurring service charges, that's consistent with what we're paying, right?
That's consistent with
But
what
the,
we're paying.
but the base, the installation charge, was that budgeted?
No, it was not.
Okay,
It's kind of a dire thing.
Sure, I
it's
just-
all- yeah,
was it planned or not?
no, it was not planned.
Kinda like a failing heat pump at the fire
Yes.
station.
Exactly.
Only matters when it's cold. Any other discussion?
So this is for the jail?
It's for the entire city.
Entire city,
Yeah.
okay.
But the jail is what we have, we have rules and regulations that we have that are compliance as to how long we have to be able to keep footage, so our capacity has to be quite large.
Yeah, the police station has well over 50% of the cameras.
So Chief Strong's ABTs that we probably like with more
It
on the
is.
rail line.
It is.
Using the capacity for that, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't do the research on this project, but there's one.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mayor's report, because the proclamation was a little long, I'll try and keep this shorter. Congratulations to the graduates of Hoofman High School. It'll be occurring this Friday in Olympic Stadium. Good opportunity for those of you who haven't made it in there in the last year or two to go check it out. All of the improvements and preservation projects there, pretty nice to look at. The walkability that Mr. Fry shared with us earlier, I went on the first one about a month ago. I wasn't able to do the walking portion today. I was taking some other city phone calls, but the speed limit was something that came up from those professionals, and I know it's come up a couple of times over the years, and we've looked at that. I specifically asked, are they recommending that we change the speed limit or lower the speed limit to address safety issues? And the short answer actually was no. It was much more important to design this project in a way that encourages slower traffic. As far as actually changing the speed limit or reducing it, to the default 25 miles an hour, they thought maybe just take down any speed limit signs that said 30 and then work on the design elements to kind of slow people down. So that was kind of interesting, but I wouldn't be really surprised if at some point in the future we're asked to again look at the speed limit formally as it's posted on Emerson. And the citywide cleanup with Ms. Rainier and Rotary, a bunch of city volunteers, community members were successful in picking up a large amount of garbage. And thank you to the city for being quick to get out to those piles that were made. But each year it gets a little bit bigger, a little bit better, and there's thousands of pounds of garbage that get picked up in one afternoon by volunteers. It's kind of fun to see it and the impact that it has. So if you ever have a chance to participate in those in the future, I would encourage you to do that. And then there are also a couple of other projects that Blue Zones has been working on. One of those is a fun run. I guess that's what we're calling it. It's a 5K for Heart Health that is on June 26th. 22nd at 9 a.m. And it's a $10 donation for each walker/runner. And you're being asked to wear red to acknowledge the American Heart Association and their Go Red for Women's Heart Health project. So we'll be sharing some more information, but that's something that Blue Zones has been working with Ms. Rainier and Tracy to kind of use some of the equipment that the city used to use. We used to have a lot of runs, and so hopefully we can get a group of volunteers that will start to bring back more runs into the community. So be watching for that June 22nd. And we're still working on the abatement lists and code enforcement and making strides, I would say, on those fronts. So continue to bring any complaints from your wards, or if you see them anywhere in the city, to our attention so we can get them addressed. We'll move on. Are there any council reports? No council reports? Resolutions are the next agenda item of the 6-year street plan.
A resolution adopting the comprehensive street program prepared by the city administrator pursuant to RCW 3577.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve this resolution.
Or,
Motion support, any discussion? Is this a second reading? All those in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, other legal.
Okay, so we have a mutual aid agreement in here with the county, and this is a mutual aid for all services, so not just fire and EMS services, but public works, police, everything.
Mr. Mayor, I move to authorize the signing of this agreement.
Or,
Motion support, any discussion?
Does this include Border Patrol and Homeland Security? I think I saw
No, this
something
is
about
more, this is
Homeland
a county-wide omnibus,
Okay.
so this allows in county to share, well, in region, I guess, really, to share public works in case of flooding. I think the last time, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, the last time Hopeland really did this was with the flooding in 2015. So it allows you to share city services
Okay.
and county, road department, public works, that type of, as well as police and fire.
Oh, I
Any
see.
other discussion?
No, really good point to clarify, because it does, because I was like, where does
Says
that
also
come from? Almost
state
like
Homeland
Security
Security
Region
Region
3,
So I'm
yes.
like, does this include Border
Yeah,
Patrol?
yeah, yes, yeah, it's under the Emergency Management Department of the Military Department.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed, motion carries. Older unfinished business? Taking care of business. Any new business?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to bring up the staff appreciation barbecue. We haven't had one for a couple years. I'd like for us to do that again. Leaning towards September 16th, it's a Monday. That's just tentative right now, but I have some funding from last year from several council members and prior members. So I'd like to bring that up again.
September 6th, you said?
16th.
16th?
That's just tentative.
Okay. Would you, need more money?
Potentially, yeah. We'll talk about that.
All right, any other new business?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to, excuse the absent council members.
I support.
And motion support. Did all the council members call in? All right, all those in favor of excusing the absent council members, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They'll be excused, thank you. Any other new business?
Yeah, I just, as far as new business, I'd like, Brian to look into getting that street on 28th extended going towards Queens, from Cherry to Queens. Repaved, or, it's just terrible. And
It's the center of the road is so bad, I feel like we need to grind it down almost, I don't know.
whatever.
Yeah.
Something needs to be done, and I hear complaints about it just about every day. And I feel them on it, it's pretty bad, so. Especially now that, this time of year, like I said, everybody's going to the ball field, going to Mr. T's. Whenever somebody's done Mr. T's, I stop at my house next, and so.
Well, if nothing else, I could get like Lakeside, you can just give us estimates, so we
Yeah.
surely know what it costs to do it.
I think that we need to look into that.
Okay.
Thank you.
If I could add, people, are driving on the wrong side of the street on that block, and they also spend a lot of time cutting through the
Parking lot.
Illinois Stadium parking lot, and, going through the stop signs too.
Just rope it off and it's the next pump track.
Everybody can go out and jump on it and break
Yeah,
down the
BMX place, there
structures
you go.
underneath there.
Alright. Any other new business?
I have old business.
Old business?
There's no more new business, we'll
Okay.
get back to old business.
Alright, thank you.
So this was, either in my box or on my desk, what is the revenue from my utility paying for? And I think this is old business, I think this is something that we passed a motion on. Before the meeting's over, we go to public comments. Do we wanna say anything about this document? Anybody have any,
You need one of the quarry jacket,
I'm sorry, Brian, what was
you
that?
need one of the quarry jacket, the
Yeah,
response?
yeah,
That was for council to review and provide feedback. That's been in your box for probably a month.
has it? Well, that's
Yes,
okay, that's why I wasn't the old
Yeah,
business.
yeah, so if anybody's got feedback, we
Yeah,
wanna
it
get
was
that
put
sent
in
out to
your,
the customers.
yeah, it was put in your box for feedback.
No, I think this is great, and I think, maybe some pictures to hammer it. I think the biggest thing that I think that our ratepayers are looking for is when there's gonna be changes, or, stuff like sending a flyer out saying, this is what you can expect, this is what's coming up in the year 2025. So, just.
The rates are on the website for 2025.
I understand that, but not everybody's savvy and is able to get on.
No, I mean, it's actually like, I'm not talking about in the municipal code, I'm actually, like, it's broken down user friendly.
I know it's, I'm just saying, what the people want is they want a flyer in the mail that says, this is what there's a lot of, people that are a different generation, an older generation, they don't use the computers like we do. So they like the paper copy, that's all I'm saying.
We should add the rates
Absolutely.
for future years to the flyer.
I would.
You'd be pretty happy with it? Any other comments on the flyer while we're talking about it? Colors?
Colors and pictures.
You know how much it's gonna cost us to send that one flyer out?
I was gonna say,
Okay.
I'm being realistic, I'm not trying to
I was
be
gonna say, if we're really trying to talk about saving costs, making that color when it doesn't need to be is probably not the way to do it, so.
Well, there were other suggested outlets for this information to the community also. Facebook post doesn't cost anything to publish.
Yeah, so we can do.
But I think that follows exactly what Mr. Henshin was bringing up, is to like, there are a lot of people in our community that don't have internet access, and so by allowing for a paper copy, and then also, putting it on the website, and maybe Facebook, a link on Facebook, for people to access it, that's what we plan to do, but he's trying to reach the people that don't necessarily have the internet.
It's a good point.
Okay, please provide any additional feedback to Corey or Brian. Let's do that before the next meeting anyway, so that we can get it out.
Yeah, I think just having a link to like exactly where they can find the full color version.
Yeah. All right, so we went back and forth. Any other old or new business? All right, if there's none, we do have executive session tonight on the agenda.
Well then, Mr. Mayor, I move to move, the second public comment up in the agenda before the executive session.
Motion and support to move the agenda item 10 above 9A. And there was support. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of making the agenda amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll move the second public comment period up, which brings it to our next agenda item. So this is a time for anyone wishing to speak before the council to do so. Did we have any submitted written comments? Okay, there are none. Otherwise, please step forward, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 5 minutes.
My name is Richard Kennedy. I live at 506 K Street. I have for the last 27 years. We had a little chit chat about getting roll off and everything else. Why don't we get to the elephant in the room? And that is Brian and his friends at the port in their latest paper to destroy the sanctity of our bird sanctuary. They're not gonna be happy until I put something on the 42 acres. And we've gone from coal to crude oil to potash, and now we're wood pellets. And I'm wondering if any of you seen Burned, BURNED, the movie.com. I know Ben came and saw the short version of it. There was one other council member that came. It'll scare the hell out of you. Watch it, Burned, the movie.com. There are corporations a few corporations, very few corporations, that have ravaged the forests of Europe, one country at a time. And now, they've brought the good news to the United States. They've completely raped the forests of the East Coast. This movie, and when you go, you'll see 4 or 5 different options. One of them is 73 minutes, and it will bring you to tears. At one point, the gal who heads Trax, there's one corporation in Europe that is killing everything, every tree that she can find, says, oh, we're just taking twigs and branches. Which is kind of what you made it sound like in the paper, Brian. And that's not true at all. They're gonna rape our forests. It's going to be brutal. One place that is doing 760,000 metric tons, I realize the one you're proposing is only 450 thousand tons a year. They went and clocked the trucks coming in. This is an operation that goes 24 hours a day, makes a ton of noise. It's gonna disrupt everything in this city. It's gonna destroy the quality of life in our city. It's not a good thing, and I don't give a good goddamn how much money it brings into the coffers. I don't care if it eliminates my water bill and my taxes and sends me a check. Do not allow the port and that man right there to take my goddamn sanctuary away from me. It's the best thing in this city. Do you not get that? I mean, why aren't you talking about that from the beginning of this meeting to the end? What is more important than protecting it? Every 3 years, the port comes up with some idea. Can you not to utilize that land, and it just involves a hell of a lot of noise. This thing would be huge trucks coming across our bridges. You guys have been talking about your roads. Have you considered what the wear and tear on all the roads in and out of Hope Wind is gonna happen when you've got a dozen trucks an hour going in and out, 24 hours a day? Is that gonna interrupt anybody's sleep? Is that gonna, it's gonna puke smoke and just, I've got COPD and I have friends that have emphysema. I'm old, I'll be 74 next month. I just wanna live out my life in peace, and I'm sick and tired of fighting the damn court every 3 years over some cockamamie scheme to utilize that. It's gonna be great, it's a reason to celebrate, said Leonard Barnes. You know, Jesus Christ, the man makes more than the President of the United States of America, and you would think that he could just leave his hands off of our bird sanctuary. People come from all over the world. Jesus, but birds deserve better. We deserve better. Why are we even having this conversation? Why can you not, the board owns the property, fine. Do you not have, as a mayor and council, do you not have the capacity to downzone it? So I don't have to have this interruption, something that would preclude any kind of anything. People walk their dogs, their people ride their bikes, their young lovers hold hands and walk through there. My ex-wife and I used to go through there all, you see people of all ages and, God, deer, birds. It's a treasure, it's a gift from God, for crying out loud. And the port wants to take it away from the city of Hoquiam, and they're calling it on top of page 1 above the fold. It's a reason to celebrate. Look what we got going on. Well, last time it was potash. The time before that it was crude oil. And I remember Chuck Caldwell at a debate saying, well, what happened in Loch Machanica and Canada, well, not too bad, but, you know, it was on the hill. You know, the brakes failed, it came down. It couldn't happen here, he said. It couldn't happen here because the land is flat here.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett, that's 5 minutes.
May I have another minute and a half or so?
I already actually went over 5, but I appreciate it.
Save our, do your jobs, please, don't remember, save our God. Bird sanctuary, thank you for your time. Over the boys.
Anyone else wish to be heard tonight?
Sure.
This is an opportunity. Please state name and address.
I'm sure I can top that. My name is Don Bell, and my address is 3673 Wishcombe Road in Aberdeen. I lived in Hoquiam for 40 years, graduated high school here. And I'm here tonight because I need some help with from the council. Maybe you guys can help me, maybe you can't, but I don't really know where else to turn. I am a member of Loggers Playdate. I've been a member of Loggers Playdate for over 30 years. I've currently emceed the last 27 shows that we've had. My grandfather is one of the founding fathers of Loggers Playdate, along with some other people. So it's very important to me, and I probably don't need to explain how important it is to our community.
Maybe not.
This is our 60th year at Loggers Playdate. We're very proud of that. I feel like this show and the spin-off events are my legacy to keep it going. I promised my grandfather on his deathbed that I'd do whatever I could to preserve Loggers Playdate for Hopewood, Washington. The Lions Club Salmon Bake, the Our Lady of Good Health, breakfast feed, all the funding that we do. We sponsor like 9 baseball teams, we give out scholarships, we put on one heck of a show, we pour all the money back into the community. The Elks puts on an amazing parade, we give them the money to do that. We work year-round at Loggers Playdate, cutting firewood, and so we can get ready for the show. That's a big deal. So here's where I need a little bit of help and a little bit of reason. Like I said, this is our 59th year. We put on one heck of a show, and at the end of the show, we put on a fireworks display, as we all know. Up until last year, we didn't really have a problem with the fireworks show. But there was a little controversy with the fire chief, and I understand some concerns. So what I'm asking, thank you, tonight is that maybe we could work together, or maybe some of the council members can talk to the chief. Mr. Mayor, I know that you got a little bit involved last year and kind of smoothed things over. I just wanted to throw some facts out there so people know where we're at with this. I know that this year, Loggers Play got a contract from the city, the first time that we ever did, to use Olympic Stadium, which is good, and we're working through some of that. I'm not going to get into that tonight. My only concern is because the fireworks are something that I take care of for Loggers Play Day. Some of the members of Loggers Play Day wear several hats. I do the emceeing, like I said, I do the sound system, I do the fireworks, the t-shirts, maybe you've heard. Anyway, so I wanted to throw a little bit of reason at this and where my concern is. The fireworks are a big deal to our community. They are part of our show, okay? We have a lot of households in Hope and Washington that don't have a huge income. And Loggers Play Day and those fireworks and this parade and the stuff that we give away are a huge deal to these people. These are my people. These are my customers. And I talk to these people a lot. And I know there's a lot of kids, and a lot of big kids too, that really look forward to this fireworks show at the end of our logging show. It's what keeps our people in our stands. That's very important for Hope Wind. The Lions Club solely gets a lot of their scholarship money just from the vending at Loggers Play Day. So it's a big deal that this show continues to go on forever. Like I said, we received this lease this year, and I'd somehow like to be able to work out a little bit of a compromise with the chief. I know he's a good guy. I don't know him that much personally. But the stuff that's written in this lease, these two sentences here, I don't believe are reasonable. And before I talk about that, I just want to say that when you use the term fireworks, we're not talking about grabbing half a case of beer, going out to the res or one of these pup tents and shooting off stuff willy-nilly. These are professional, licensed, and bonded, electronically fired fireworks shows, okay? These aren't just fireworks that you get. These fireworks are not designed to start fires. And in fact, in the 59 years we've had Loggers Play Day, we have not had a single incident. And in fact, in the Northwest, there has never been a structure fire, not even one time, from a professional, licensed and bonded pyrotechnic show. They are that safe. In fact, they are so safe that a fire department's presence is not even required at these shows. These are licensed and bonded shows, and the people that run these shows have gone through training. I know some of the Avenue Fire Department guys have. I know the Avenue Fire Chief has. He's involved with Splash. He helps launch all that stuff. There's just never been a problem. In fact, we had trouble finding there being any kind of an incident with professional pyrotechnic shows in the U.S. So what we'd like is a little bit of compromise so we can put on our show. We pack millions of dollars worth of liability insurance, and we can match that. It's cheap insurance to buy because there just hasn't been any incidents. I mean, we got 6 decades here, guys. Not a problem. If you want the field wetted down, it's unnecessary. There's just no consumables. We don't shoot these fireworks off inside Loggers Play Day Stadium or Olympic Stadium. They are on the outside, and there's regulations. The stack of laws that surround this stuff are inch thick. I've got them right in front of me. But
Mr. Belli, I let you go over about a minute already.
Okay, so that's it?
Thank you.
Yield your time.
Next.
Yield your time to it.
Anyone else,
I'll give
have
my
public
time to
comment
him.
tonight?
Can he yield his time to Mr. Bell? Okay.
I'd like to know what
He can offer his
the two
comments, though.
sentences were that he was referring to. I would like to know.
She's my togger.
Robin Emery, 911 Broadway. First, I'd like to thank the council for taking the time at the meetings to explain the different items being proposed. It's very helpful to our citizens and help us understand, because when you guys are behind doors doing things and then you come out here and put it on your agenda, sometimes it just, I don't know what that's about. But when you talk and explain to us, it's very helpful, so I'd like to commend you for doing that. And then, next I'd like to give notice to our police chief. If you haven't heard already, we've got the citywide yard sales coming towards the end of the month, from 21st to 23rd. So there might be a little more, hopefully, not loud, traffic in the area. And, next I'd like to Just, I know the council has discussed the massive changes that they were considering on the turn lane from Riverside to 16th Street. So before we commit to more massive spending, can we get the state to simply repaint the wording on the lane? And that might be part of an easier, cost-effective fix for that, because you literally cannot see, you know, as you go down there, several times it says right turn lane only, right turn, it's not there. You can't see, and if you're from out of town, you probably don't know that. And then finally, I'd like to propose that the city reconsider the Hope Williams side-by-side or UTV restrictions. Many things have changed over the years, and if a UTV now can be street legal and carry vehicle insurance, then perhaps the laws could be updated to allow these to be driven in town as other Grady's Harbor towns do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard tonight? All right, there don't appear to be any other public comments. We'll move on to executive session.
Yeah, can I get some guidance on the time?
Versus 10 minutes.
Okay, so well, because it's gonna take time to clear, so I'm gonna say, I move to, adjourn to executive session until 8:30.
Motion to support. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. Mayor,
We'll
I
clear the,
can't say.
understand.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.